Hi everyone, and good Friday morning to you. It is 21 News Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm here on this wintry and snowy early January Friday morning. Let's bring you up to date on what's going on now, what will happen for the rest of this Friday and into the weekend, and we'll talk about our potential winter storm for parts of the area as a lot of us head back to work and school early next week. As of 8:36 a.m., everything's kind of going as expected. This weak weather disturbance continues to kind of dumbbell or pinwheel through the area. It's bringing a general light snowfall to the valley. Roads have gotten slick, accumulations of up to an inch or two, probably 3 at most, in a lot of the area first thing this morning. And this is kind of, snow for everyone. Now, as we head towards lunchtime and into the afternoon today, this disturbance will keep heading to the east, and this will transition into more of a lake-enhanced snow event with some lake effect snow as well. What's the difference? Well, lake effect snow is purely happening because the lakes are there. Lake enhanced snow is snow that would occur anyway, but the lakes kind of give it an extra boost. So that's kind of the splitting hairs difference between the two. But let's take a little bit of a live look outside here, around the horn with some of our cameras here, a little past 8:30 in the morning. This is Niles along Route 422. Do a little refresh here, give you the freshest image. And, it's not all the snow in the world, but certainly enough to make things a little bit slick up in Trumbull County. This is down in Columbiana along the traffic circle. Thankfully, not a lot of people out and about this morning. Now, the road condition right along the traffic circle there doesn't look too bad, but that's, obviously kind of a major thoroughfare in that area. Up in Mahoning County, this is Route 224 and Market Street, looking out to the east through the Southern Park Mall complex and towards, some of the shopping areas in Boardman and eventually over towards Poland. And yeah, it looks like a wintry morning. The road surface there along 224 does look a little bit sketchy. You got to keep it slow. And then this is an ODOT camera, I-80 and 76 near the Austintown area. And there again, the road surface is not completely covered by any stretch of the imagination, but I would imagine on the interstates this morning, you definitely need to, kind of keep your speeds down. So what's going to happen for the rest of the day today? Let's show you some model information here. The high-resolution NAM North American model. This is one of our high-resolution computer models that we use in the short term. And this is the simulated radar product. Now, this is never going to get it exactly right as far as what the radar will look like, but it's a tool that we use and can rely on in the short term. The steady snow, again, heads to the east. Now, by midday, this is 11, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, already we're transitioning to that kind of lake effect, lake-enhanced regime, and that means more changeable conditions. This morning, conditions are kind of about the same everywhere, but this is going to transition into more of a touch-and-go, very changeable weather as we head towards midday, where you're driving along and all of a sudden, boom, you've got a heavy snow squall, the conditions deteriorate, you drive through it, it stops snowing, conditions get better, and rinse and repeat. So we get these, kind of individual bands that are locally heavy, and then in between them, it's not doing a whole lot. That's what we can probably expect as we head towards midday today and into the afternoon and right into tonight. This is the simulated radar a few hours after dark, 7, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and actually this lake effect, regime will stick with us through at least Saturday morning. This is around daybreak on Saturday. Now, by afternoon, it's starting to lift out, and so as we head towards sunset Saturday evening, most of the lake effect is trying to be more aimed at northwest PA and extreme northeast Ohio, and maybe still clipping some parts of our northern viewing area. But for a lot of us, the worst will be behind us, certainly, as we head towards late afternoon on Saturday. So if you have to travel today, tonight, even a fair amount of Saturday, you're just going to have to take it slow and be aware of your surroundings. Be prepared for changeable weather conditions, as this is, one of those situations that you really got to pay attention to. So this product here is called the Snow Squall Parameter, and what we're looking for here is conditions most favorable for snow squalls, sudden bursts of snow, almost a whiteout when you have a true snow squall. Now, this parameter is not going to show us how much snow is going to accumulate or anything like that, but the brighter colors mean there's a higher chance of snow squall conditions. So this is kind of a good tool for us to look at. And, the snow squall parameter kind of peaks in eastern Ohio and western PA right in here. And this is as we head towards early to mid-afternoon today and even into early this evening. So again, you gotta be cautious if you're going to be out and about with a snow squall parameter that is showing values this high late this afternoon and into this evening. That shows us that there's a chance of not only some pretty beefy lake effect snow showers, but a localized squall that really reduces the visibility and makes things really treacherous will be a possibility as we go into the second half of the day today. All right, our snowfall forecast. Now this was put out last evening, and I think it's still pretty good for total snow, counting what's happened this morning all the way through Saturday afternoon. So this does take into account the inch to 2, maybe 3 that a lot of us have seen this morning. So total snowfall from last night through this morning and all the way through Saturday afternoon, early evening. Now we're looking for probably a half a foot or more to be on the ground before this lake effect event is through. North of I-80 especially, up here in the purple area, Cortland, Southington, over towards Sharpsville, Greenville, New Lebanon, Gustavus, Johnston, Mesopotamia, Bloomfield, places like that. Now, as you go south of that area, I think it's going to be common for a lot of us to have a few inches to up to maybe 5 or 6 on the ground by Saturday evening in total, from Austintown and Girard and Niles, right through Youngstown and the 224 corridor, a lot of southern Mercer, southern Lawrence, and even into northern Columbiana, a place like Salem, Hanoverton. Not necessarily Hanoverton. Salem, Damascus is what I was going to say. Washingtonville, Columbiana. I wouldn't be shocked if all the way down to East Palestine and Rogers and Nagley. You have at least 3, 4, 5 inches on the ground when this lake effect really truly winds down later on Saturday. Once you go down into southern Columbiana County, the heaviest snow squalls won't be as frequent down there. So while you may see up to a few inches in a place like Salineville and Lisbon and West Point and East Liverpool, it won't be as common to see more than 3 inches once you get down into those parts of Columbiana County. So that's what you can expect for the rest of this Friday and into our first part of the weekend as well. Now let's talk about the next weather system. Now this is a bona fide winter storm that will impact millions and millions of people Sunday and into Monday, from kind of out here all the way through parts of the lower and middle Ohio Valley, and even into some big cities along the East Coast, Washington, D.C., and Baltimore included. Now, this is the European model depiction, and we'll stop this midday on Sunday at this point. Pretty good ice event ongoing in parts of Missouri, southern Illinois, parts of Kentucky as well, and getting set for a pretty big snowstorm north of there, closer to and around or just north of I-70, Indianapolis to Dayton, Columbus area, and then even down into southern parts of Ohio. Again, this European model depiction for us in Northeast Ohio and Northwest PA would have most of the snow coming late Sunday night and into Monday. Now, the latest run of the European model has definitely, shifted a little bit farther to the south. Notice the low center here at, about 1 o'clock in the morning, Monday morning. Center of the storm is all the way down towards Nashville instead of being, up in here. And that could make a pretty big difference for us in our TV viewing area. It may mean, almost a complete miss if this storm track is correct. It may mean a complete miss, especially for our northern areas. It's going to be kind of a tight call, close shave, if that storm track ends up being the right one. Other model information has the storm track a little bit farther to the north. This is the GFS model. By Monday morning, the low center is over eastern Kentucky as opposed to down here. And again, that would make a pretty big difference in our, eventual outcome. The Canadian model looks a little more like the GFS in that it's a little farther to the north with the low center Monday morning. So the European is a little more suppressed, a little bit farther south than some of our other global computer models. And we're going to keep an eye on those trends today because they will make a big difference in our eventual outcome, particularly in our northern viewing area. Even with that suppressed European model storm track down into Tennessee as opposed to Kentucky, our southern viewing area probably still tries to get some snow, but our northern viewing area would have a lower chance of seeing something substantial if that southern storm track comes to fruition. So, as we stand here a little before 9 a.m. on Friday morning, here's, another way to look at things. Here's a look at what we call European model ensemble forecast as far as all that goes into that ensemble model, all the individual, what we call members of the ensemble. Here's where they place that area of low pressure first thing Monday morning. You have some down here in Tennessee, and then you have several farther to the north, a little more like the GFS and Canadian models. So there's still a fair amount of uncertainty, as you would expect. 48, 72, even 60 hours ahead of a storm system. that's just the nature of the beast here. It's kind of part of the game. Is when you're a few days out, you're going to have these degrees of uncertainty. So what does this mean as far as our sensible weather goes? My thinking hasn't changed since yesterday, in that the absolute highest amounts of snow will almost certainly be off to our south, closer to I-70 and even a little farther south of there, down towards Athens, Parkersburg, Marietta, maybe Morgantown, West Virginia, and then certainly once you get down into the mountains of West Virginia and even over towards D.C. and places like that. Now, this is the European model odds of 3 inches or more worth of snow. You could probably say this is the odds of 3, 4, even 5 inches because of the higher snow to liquid ratios that'll come to this. This won't be a 10 to 1 snow to liquid ratio. It's probably more like 13, 14, 15 to 1. But what is graphically displayed here are the odds of 3 inches or more based on a 10 to 1 snow to liquid ratio. So just imagine that this is more like the odds of 4 or 5 inches or more worth of snow. Here's where we are right here. And the European, with that farther south suppressed storm track, suggests that the odds of 3, 4, 5 inches or more are definitely low across our viewing area and higher off to our south. The GFS ensemble modeling, again, a little farther to the north than the European. Pretty decent odds here of 3, 4, 5 inches or more once you get down south of Route 224, if you take this model data literally. And here's the Canadian model. Again, a little more like the GFS, a little less like the European, showing a definite bullseye of almost a cinch, a lock of 3, 4, 5 inches or more once you get down towards Morgantown and Athens and Parkersburg, Marietta, and etc. But still pretty decent odds of that amount being achieved in our viewing area, particularly off to the south. So more updates on the Sunday night into Monday situation as we get into the weekend. As of now, just plan on perhaps a slow drive, a slow commute Monday morning, especially in our southern viewing area. It could be a real tight gradient between almost nothing and several inches worth of snow from north to south, somewhere either in our viewing area or maybe just to the south. It's going to be a tight squeeze as it looks right now, but we'll keep digesting model information and bring you more updates over the next couple of days. No matter how much snow you get, either today or tomorrow or Monday, it's going to be cold everywhere, but the intensity of the cold is not crazy. This isn't the coldest January air mass in the world, but it is notable for its longevity. This is the next 10 days worth of, temperature data here, model data showing, consistently cold, but nothing that breaks the bank. And I think this will be the case even beyond this 10-day forecast. It looks, colder than average for the most part as we go into the second half of January. But is it the intense, crazy, straight out of the Arctic, tundra, Siberian cold that we've had at times in the wintertime? No, but it is notable for its longevity. It's notable because our winters have been pretty lame of late, and so this will be the longest stretch of true January cold that we've had in a handful of years in the heart of winter around Northeast Ohio and Northwest PA. Thanks for hanging with me on this long video, but we got a lot to talk about on this Friday morning. You can count on me to keep you updated throughout the day, and the rest of our team, Jimmy Wendelek at noon on WFMJ midday. Meteorologist Andrew DePaulo is in the studio this evening at 5, 6, and 11, as I'm still technically on vacation, but I'll have you covered here from home online over the next few days with more videos and more updates. If you're on Facebook, don't rely on your feed to just give you the latest information. Go directly to my page and check out all the posts. Some of your questions may be answered when you just go to my page and look at previous posts that you may have missed in your Facebook feed. Have a great rest of your Friday. I'll talk to you later on.